ride, come and kick it. Put her on to my vibe, she addicted. So if I leave, you gon' tell me that you miss it. Into that paper non-stop, is how we live it. Baby, hop in my ride, come and kick it. Put her on to my vibe, she addicted. If I leave, you gon' tell me that you miss it. And we are back with another lit reaction video, man. Today we're gonna look into the Colorado Buffs overcoming Travis Hunter's injury and defeat, and will they defeat Orgeon? I'm not gonna lie, I'm rooting for Colorado to do good. I love what they got going on over there in Boulder. I didn't get a chance to check the game out, the Colorado versus Colorado State game out live, but I watched the highlights, and it was a lit game as far as just the going back and forth, but it was a dirty game. Like, it was a lot of showboating, it was a lot of crazy things going on. There was some BS what dude did to Travis Hunter, and that you could tell that it was very intentional, and it was a dirty hit, and he didn't even suffer no type of like consequences. That's why it doesn't surprise me. Like, they said he had got like death threats on for far as like phone calls and letter. I don't know. I just know he's on protection watch or whatever it's called. But I'm not surprised, because I'm pretty sure everybody viewing this, if y'all haven't seen it, just look up Colorado State versus Colorado Travis Hunter hit, or just look up Travis Hunter hit, and you'll be able to see it. But my prediction is Colorado gonna do their thing, man. They gonna pull it through and beat Orgeon. And I'm gonna go ahead and state this now, so it ain't no confusion. I am a Hogs fan for sure. Like, I'm going for the Hogs. I hope we having an okay season, but I don't know. You never know with us. But I'm not a Colorado Buffs fan, but I'm a Deion Sanders fan. So I'm rooting for them. I hope they go as far as they can go. Without further ado, man, we just gonna get into the video, see what they talking about. But y'all got my prediction, man. Colorado gonna beat Orgeon. They gonna pop that shit. Other than that, let's get into it.
This car reads with 24/7 sport. That means they don't take breaks if they 24/7.
Shout out to Deion, man. Prime time, bro.
It's good for the gander. You in the class of 2024. You better stop playing around and make a decision. And
Why does it sound so
my
low?
wife, and Mike Norvell is talking to a bunch of recruits, and he's got it pumping, he's got it going on. I leave the room with Dan Lannon, but my wife stays in the room with Mike Norvell, and I thought she was going to get in the transfer portal. If they are going to be recruiting every day, you better be working every day.
Oh, I guess they talking about the future high school recruits and shit.
He knows a hit when he spit.
Welcome into a very special edition of Read Between the Lines with the coach, Carl Reed, and joining us to have a fun little back and forth is Bud Elliott of the Cover 3 podcast. I'm Emily Proud. If you enjoy the content, a reminder to hit that.
I seen somewhere on Instagram, bro, that they want to suspend or give some type of penalty to Shedeur Sanders for the little eye poke on the Colorado State team for basically taking his star receiver out of the game with a dirty ass hit, and they want to suspend him. I don't know if it's true or not, but I seen that on Instagram. Yeah, by the way, follow me on Instagram at Gummythedon. And they don't want to fucking suspend the player that did the dirty hit. That's wild to me. That's crazy as hell. You feel me? And they want to, like, that's how you could tell they just doing anything. They want to see Deion Sanders and his team fall. He got two sons on the team that's going to work, that's going crazy every game. Shedeur Sanders just threw over damn near 1,000 yards in 2 games. So of course they want. That don't surprise me. I'm going to just say that and leave it at that, bro.
That like button and subscribe to the 24/7 Sports YouTube channel. Guys, we
Damn,
had some fun talking Colorado last week. We're going to do the same again today. But first, let's remind you of some of the fun we had from that previous conversation.
So you think they're going to make the Pac-12 title game?
I think that they definitely had an opportunity to make the Pac-12 title game for sure. I don't think that that's out of the possibilities.
What do you think,
All right, let's do a dinner bet then.
Well, I'm a betting man. You know,
All right.
I mean, I'm a betting man.
Are they closer to making the Pac-12 title game, or are they closer to having a losing record in conference?
Oh, they're closer to making the Pac-12 title game than having a losing record.
All right.
Bud, don't be disrespectful.
Bud, what do you think?
Don't be disrespectful to the program, Bud. Hey, you wild today, man. You already rated him number 10 in the transfer portal. Was one of the most asinine things
I can already tell he a fucking hater of Colorado, but I'm gonna see what he got to say. I can already tell.
And I've heard you say some really, really ridiculous things since I've known you. That was one of the most ridiculous, though.
I threw it out there on Cover 3. I said, this is a very hard time to rate, or really hard team to rate. I wish somebody would give me like 50-1 and then making a bowl, because I think if they stay real healthy, they could. Luckily, one of my listeners did, so already feeling fairly good about that. And I think you're exactly, like, you deserve a lot of credit for being right on them. Like, there's a pretty decent chance they make a bowl now.
What's the difference between selling on a marketplace and selling with Shopify? When you build a...
Okay, officially doubling down on that dinner bet, showing it twice now here on the 24/7 Sports YouTube page. But Carl, I'll start with you.
They not about to have a losing
cracks
record.
In the armor last week, a win is a win, but have your expectations for this Colorado team and what they are capable of this season, have they changed at all?
No, because over the course of a season, you're going to have to win a tight game like that. You come out flat. Colorado State is their game of the year. They come out and they play a really, really good football game, and they got a couple of really, really excellent football players on their team. A guy who probably made himself a ton of money was Comera, the defensive lineman, that was just a really tough block on the edge and on the interior. But Colorado found a way to win. Winning football games is really hard. We're seeing a lot of close games this season as the landscape of football is changing as a whole.
I'm not really changing them that much because I was already lower on them than Carl was, right? I've adjusted from where I was in the preseason, but I was not getting up to making them like a legitimate top 25 level football team. They have a couple of really nice players, and they have a lot of guys who start for them who really weren't playing very much for the really legitimately good Power 5 teams out there, and I think there was a reason for that, and you saw that. They got exposed by a bottom half.
Hey, if you a football, let me let them finish.
Mountain West team with College Game Day there. They needed overtime to beat Colorado State. We're going to see it coming up. This team is definitely better than I thought it was in the preseason.
Yeah.
But it's not great. They got a couple special guys and a bunch of kind of mid.
But here's the thing, though.
Hater. Week 4 is going to be very entertaining and exciting. All the football games that's being played. You got LSU playing Florida. No, I'm tripping. Hold on. My bad. I'm like, hold on. Didn't LSU already play Florida State? I just had it pulled up. Okay, so you got Colorado at Oregon, which is the game I'm going to be watching. I'm going to try to catch a couple of them, but I know for sure I'm going to catch the Colorado-Oregon game. You got Florida State against Clemson, Mississippi versus Alabama. Who else? It's a couple games that's just can't miss games, bro. Oh, yeah, Arkansas versus LSU. That's a game I want to catch. And it was another one. I can't remember, but week 4 is going to be a very entertaining week to watch.
When we came into
college
this football season, nobody had any expectations of this team. So you're saying they've been exposed. They haven't been exposed. We knew there were deficiencies on the offensive line. We knew there were some limitations in the secondary outside of Travis Hunter. These are things that we already knew. We didn't pick this team to win a national championship, but most people in the country, including yourself, definitely picked the original Vegas line was finna to win less than 3.5 games, and they're already 3-0. Winning is difficult in any metric at any level of football. They're 3-0. Nobody had an expectation of that. So we're not talking about a national championship here, but you have to give some credit.
Hold on, wait, Carl. You still stand by that?
Hold on a second. Yeah, can we roll the tape for the first time in the last 2 weeks? Because I'm pretty sure Carl thinks they're going to make the Pac-12 title game.
Do you still think that?
What I said was they have an opportunity to do, and yes, I still believe that.
Okay, you still believe that after watching what we saw on Saturday night? Them get pushed around by Colorado State, them not being able to run the ball, them being last in the nation in yards allowed to sacks. Like, you think that's going to hold up when they play these good teams?
Well, but I haven't seen a great. I haven't seen.
You
I haven't.
ball. You won state titles. Your eyes. Like, I know you love Dion and we love the story, but man,
whoa. Don't come on it. But don't do that. Don't do that. But don't make it about that. Don't.
Use the coach eyes, not the star eyes, man.
But don't do that. Don't do that.
Carl, you watch the game.
We absolutely know, Bud, that you a diabolical hater of Deion Sanders. So don't come on here and call me. Don't come on here and call me a homer for Deion Sanders. What I've said to you has been very consistent, and I've said it all year. But don't you dare come on here and try to swing disrespect. You've been against Deion Sanders ever since Travis Hunter flipped from Florida State to Jackson State. And the receipts have continuously showed that. So you're the one with your emotions invested. Don't ever question my integrity again.
All right, you seriously watch what you watched on Saturday night. You think they're going to make the Pac-12 title game?
Well, being that I coach football, but I understand that winning is very tough. And so a team like Florida State, that I still think is the best team in the country, they barely got out of beating Boston College. I don't think that makes them any less of a football team. Winning games is hard. Matchups and styles make fights. And so I believe that that's what happened in the game. That's my opinion.
Even though they got pushed around and they didn't handle Colorado State the way they should have, and Colorado State isn't ranked or whatever, but that's a rivalry game. Colorado State, that's probably the best football that they're going to play. The best football that they're going to play is going to be against Colorado. They're going to leave everything out on the field. So it's going to be that it's going to be a dog fight if it's a rivalry game, no matter what's the talent level. That's how I look at it, because I've seen it playing football.
I feel like we've got the two monikers here, the homer and the hater. You guys just going back and forth between that. Either way, both of you know.
That's a good YouTube title. I like that.
All right. Well, there you go, YouTube people. You hear me? There's your new title. But no, I think something we can all come together on and agree on is the fact that Travis Hunter is a darn good football player, and that injury is not just a bummer for Colorado, but man, as fans of the sport, it really stinks that they're going to have to go up against some tough competition the next few weeks without a game-changing player like that. But I'll start with you here. I mean, how do you replace a guy like Travis Hunter?
You don't.
Yeah.
I'm serious. Like, Travis Hunter is their best player on offense, and he's their best player on defense. It's like the old Looney Tunes skit, now batting Bugs Bunny, right? First base, Bugs Bunny. Pitching, Bugs Bunny. Like, Travis Hunter was their do-it-all difference maker. They lose to TCU without him.
Got a point.
He had, 2 huge plays in that game, including, he jumped the rail route on mesh. Like, not only is he a tremendous athlete, he's incredibly smart. Like, guys don't do that. Carl backed me up on this. Like, that's a phenomenal play. He's also a guy on offense. Like, Weaver and Horn are legitimately good players. Like, we saw, I live in Florida. Horn killed it in the state title game down here. Like, we knew he was a really good get for USF and a very nice get for Colorado. But if you add Travis Hunter to the mix there on offense, that makes him that much more difficult to defend, especially because Shedeur is pretty good at going through all this stuff and finding the right guy. Like, he doesn't really seem to play favorites. If you take him out of there, it makes this team eminently more beatable, even by some of the lower teams. Like that, he's a real difference maker, and I thought that hit on him was complete bullshit.
Thank you.
Sorry, can I curse in here? We cursed a little bit on cover 3. Sorry.
That hit was dirty. It was so dirty.
You're never a better team without your best player. I don't care what position the guy plays. Travis Hunter is the best player at the University of Colorado, one of the best players in the country. And what great players do in football games, they change the math. When he's at receiver, you have to have a defender underneath, or you have to have a defender over the top. And so when Travis Hunter is not in the game, it allows you to put extra guys in the box to help stop the run. It allows you to do some things with the other receivers to add numbers to coverage that you otherwise wouldn't have. Defensively, when Travis Hunter's on defense, and they're killing you with the shallow crossing routes, and number 14 is having a field day, you could have took Travis Hunter and he could have just guarded him man to man, and that completely changes the dynamic of what you can do offensively. So guys are gonna have to step up, but you're gonna have to win a different way and play a little bit differently with Travis Hunter in the game. You have to acknowledge that when your best player is out, it definitely changes the math schematically for what you do.
On the defensive side of the ball, I know another guy that you watched closely, Bud, is Cormani McClain. How ready do you think he is for potentially kind of stepping into this?
Yeah, I was reading some Adam Munster Tiger stuff today. Does a great job for us covering Colorado for 24/7 Sports, and he said, look, it's not an injury thing. He's just still kind of acclimating to the process. So I don't think he's super close to being a major contributor. And obviously, if he was to contribute now, it would be a little bit of a surprise because they do have Oregon and USC back to back. It's not like you're easing him into it. I think if he was more ready
That's gonna be
play,
tough,
you would probably
man.
have seen him run out there a little bit against Colorado State, and you simply didn't. They actually have some other freshmen who have played decently for the fact that they're true freshmen for them, and now those guys are going to have to shoulder a bigger load. One thing, though, I do like Duke Cooper a lot. He's from the 239. I'm from the 239. I followed him when he was coached by James Chaney, who's now the director of high school relations there for the Buffs. He's been playing pretty well for them. So at least they do have one good corner on that team without Travis.
I think that Cormani McClain, whether or not he plays, is really up to him. And it's time for him to lock in and step up and do some of the things that he was expected to do going in, from the way you prepare to the way you work and the mastery of the system. One of the biggest things that high school guys that are great players have that can slow you down when you get to the collegiate level is the defense that Charles Kelly is running. Multiple calls, multiple coverages, multiple checks. It's more of a mental thing than it is a physical thing, guys. And mastering the system and the details. At this level of football, with the level of quarterback play that you have, especially in the Pac-12, some of the guys they're about to go against Bo Nix, you're about to go against Caleb Williams. Those guys are going to damage you if you blow coverages and aren't where you're supposed to be. So Cormani McClain, it appears that the opportunity is there for him to get more reps, but I think the decision is totally on him and how strong his mind is right now in the situation.
Carl, you mentioned the quarterbacks that they will face in the Pac-12, although if you ask the quarterback about a QB matchup, they'll say, well, I play against the defense. But we can talk about these QB matchups, and especially these
They're
next
gonna
two.
have a tough
I'm
game
putting
with
Heisman watch
USC.
on both of these, but we'll start with Bo Nix and Shedeur Sanders. Carl, starting with you, what are you keeping an eye on in this one when it comes to these quarterbacks going head-to-head?
You're talking about two guys that complete a high rate of passes. Bo Nix is having a phenomenal season again after he had a great one last year after coming over from Auburn.
Wow, Bo Nix
Obviously, we've
throwing
talked
over
about Shedeur here a lot and the amount of passes that he's completing. I think the key to this game is, can the offensive line at Colorado keep Shedeur upright and give him time to throw? Colorado State was able to bring a lot of pressure. Nebraska also brought a lot of pressure. So from an offensive line standpoint, I think Colorado absolutely has to play better up front. Bo Nix has had better protection, and so I think that is going to be the difference in who has the bigger day.
Here is how you can generate all these ad creatives under 1 minute. So
Totally agree with Carl there, right? Bo Nix, when he's not pressured, is just a killer. Like if you don't get to him, they're putting up 50 in Austin. And so it's going to be can Shedeur do that to Oregon? We'll see. Texas Tech had a couple nice plays on them last week. I've kind of changed my opinion on Oregon a little bit. I thought going into the year, and look, you should be able to change your opinion based on evidence. I thought their secondary was going to be a little down and maybe their front was better. I think it's actually the opposite now. Oregon's secondary has been mostly fine. At times, they've been unable to get pressure without bringing blitz. Obviously, Shedeur has been fairly good against the blitz. There was maybe a 20-minute period against Nebraska where he struggled, but then he adjusted to it pretty nicely. So how well can Oregon rush Shedeur without bringing the extra guy? Because if they can get to not bringing the extra guy, Colorado's offense, especially without Travis, is going to have problems.
He's a great quarterback.
How much can a game like this, where you have two Heisman contenders on either
and
end,
the quarterback from
Carl, how much can that help
SC is a great quarterback.
whoever ends up coming out on top?
Well, it can help you a bunch because you're looking for signature wins in the Heisman Trophy race. You're looking for Heisman-worthy moments. Every Heisman Trophy guy, you can go back to a game or two where they pulled something out of nothing and they made something special happen. And so those are the kind of moments that the Heisman Trophy has been built on, and getting the opportunity to have a good team going into games like this is typically what separates the candidates when you come to the end of the season and decide who's going to New York and who isn't.
All right, I know we're going Emily next. Can we flash the FanDuel odds back up? I got something for Carl here. I was eyeing that.
I think we can pull them up.
I think I saw 25-1 on Shedeur. Carl, I'll give you 30 if you want it today. Max bet 1,000. I don't want to be dropping, losing 50K or nothing to you, but I'll give you better than what FanDuel's giving.
Well, if you
want it,
if you are you willing to lose 50K?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. I'll take the bet with you.
And you guys are
All right,
running
so
up.
to win $50K.
I'm willing to take the bet with you.
I ain't betting
You guys
that.
are running up quite the
good.
tab on these YouTube clips that we've been doing. This is only our second week doing this, and we've got a dinner bet and now actual money on the table. So love to see it. I'm just going to lead into that and ask you guys who wins this game. Bud, let's start with you.
I'm going to go with Oregon here. I don't know that they're going to beat them by 50. I think Colorado's offense is legitimately pretty good. I haven't seen a whole lot from Colorado's defense to tell me they're going to slow down Oregon enough here. The line's 21. I don't think they're going to go out and win by 50, but I do feel pretty confident Oregon's going to win a football game.
All right, looking forward to seeing how this one ends up. The story that is Coach Prime in Colorado just is so exciting for college football fans and for fans that maybe we're not watching college football. It's bringing so many people to the sport, and if you want to learn more about all things Colorado, you heard us mention earlier Adam Munster-Tiger and the whole crew at Buff Stampede is putting out great work, so check it out, buffstampede.com.
All right, and that's it, man. They had a couple great points with some of the weaknesses they see during this matchup. I think Colorado, it's gonna be tough for them to pull this win off against a really great team like Oregon, and without their best player on both sides of the ball. Arguably their best player on both sides of the ball. It's gonna be tough, but I'm rooting for Colorado to pull it off. But yeah, man, we gonna see. Hopefully y'all watching and tune in on the game Saturday. I know I will be. But other than that, man, it is your boy Gummythedon, aka Gummy So Wavy, and we out, man.
Broke my heart in high school, swear I needed that. Old girl tried to trap me with a baby, I swear I needed that. Made me focus on my paper, man, I swear I needed that. Trying to turn these stack of 20s in a stack of blue racks.